Please, Sheriff Beep, save our town!
This town isn't big enough for the both of us!
Oh my! Hopalong The Badlands review for the PlayStation VR. Let's begin! First up, let's take a look at the gameplay. To move around the world, you actually have to move the move controller up and down, very similar to the motion you would make with a stick horse in real life. It really does feel great, especially as the faster you do it, the faster you will gallop. The game does only use snap turning, and the buttons are on the same move controller that you use to move the horse. It is a bit awkward, especially when you first start playing. You can strafe by pointing the horse in the direction you want to move. This is great for dodging enemy fire when you are in a tight space. The aim of each level is to basically get from point A to point B. There isn't an objective marker, but the area's layout is done in such a way that you shouldn't ever feel too lost and not know where to go. To spice some levels up, you will need to find a detonator, which blows up some dynamite and unlocks a new path. During your journey, you will come across a few types of enemy bandits. Some charge at you with a knife or pickaxe. Some chuck dynamite in your direction, some are galloping gunslingers, and some are stationary and fire Gatling guns. The enemy AI is pretty simple. The ones that chuck dynamite at you do not take into consideration their friends if they are near you. It is quite comical to see them get blown up instead of you though, and you can certainly use this to your advantage. You can also shoot for dynamite in mid-air and make it blow up near them instead. Pulling this off is incredibly satisfying. Although their movement patterns are simple, that doesn't mean your heart won't be pumping, especially when you're surrounded by many of them. When you are surrounded, your health can decrease quite rapidly, and the search for a water trail to heal becomes quite intense. To actually heal, you have to dunk your horse head into the water. This simple action comes across very playful, and I couldn't help but imagine I was in the imagination of the kid Andy from Toy Story. New weapons are collected at a steady rate. You get a pickaxe which can be used as a melee weapon and can also be used to destroy blocked pathways. Using it to strike bandits can be a bit tricky when you're galloping fast, as the collision can be a bit off. It's great if a bandit is not aware of your presence though. You also get a revolver, shotgun and cannon. The sniper has its advantages and disadvantages though. I found the sniper to be one of the easiest to use in a VR game, because when you raise it up to your face, the screen goes black and the scope view is very large. This does create a problem though, as you may be in a firefight and need to switch weapons quickly. When the sniper is selected, it is very likely it will go straight into the scope view due to your arm being positioned up high during your last selected gun. You also get another weapon for completing the game, but I won't show it in case of spoilers. The game includes 3 chapters and has 11 levels in total. If you die in a level, you must restart that level from the beginning. If you're finding it a bit too hard, you can change the difficulty. These include easy, medium and hard, but I did find the medium difficulties challenge to be perfect. Each level contains collectibles for you to find. Some are very easy to find and some are hidden quite well. There are some boss battles. The first is by far the best, as you have to work out your opponent's weak spot. The other showdown's difficulty rely heavily on throwing a lot of enemies your way. It would have been nice to see more creative ways to outsmart the bosses instead of feeling overwhelmed, especially in the final battle. You unlock new horses each time you complete a chapter. These have a different head design and also have unique abilities, such as one that refills your health over time and one that gallops faster. This horse is great for replaying the levels and picking up any collectibles you may have missed. Now let's take a look at how immersive this game is. The graphics are incredibly clear and the depth on everything is amazing. Even the backgrounds are not that blurry. The locations are all very scenic, whether you're high up above a canyon or strolling past a forest. It does all look great, thanks to the excellent textures. The mine levels do have parts that are extremely dark though, so much so that you cannot see at all. I never got fully stuck in these segments, as you kind of get an idea of how the tunnels are laid out, but some more lighting would prevent any confusion. The ragdoll physics are great, and I personally always love to watch things bounce around in a virtual space. It makes the world seem that much more realistic. Even the horse's hair, or in this case, pieces of material, react accordingly. The bandits' movements almost look puppet-like, and their fabric textures adds to the effect. The enemies do look fantastic. The explosions are truly some of the best I've seen in a VR game. It is very likely that you'll shoot dynamite even when there isn't any enemies nearby, just to see the fantastic visuals on display. If an enemy is near the explosion, they get set alight and run around in a panic. Their fabric burns and glows. If it wasn't so entertaining, you would feel quite bad. A narrator's voice is heard who tells the storyline. He is heard mainly when you enter a new area.
I know that was a long ride through rough land, but it's about to get even rougher. You're entering territory recently claimed by the Boomity clan, also known around these parts as the Dynamite Gang.
The boss battles also include some voiceovers with some comical dialogue.
And make sure Bongo actually covers his backside this time, so he don't go and get a bullet in the butt again.
But boss, the sheriff's already here.
The music is exactly what you would expect from a game set in the Wild West. All of the sound elements can be adjusted to your liking in the options menu. Now let's take a look at the setup and what controllers the game supports. I played this game mainly in a seated position just under 2 meters away from the camera. It would be more realistic to stand, and aiming your gun and galloping is more easy in this position, but if you're lazy like me and prefer to be seated, then rest assured it is possible to play this game entirely seated. The head tracking was great and the game did not make me motion sick. This game requires 2 move controllers to play. The other controllers are not supported. Playing for long periods of time will start to make your arm ache due to you having to constantly gallop to move around the world. I do suggest you use the move controller's wrist strap, as it will fling all over the place when galloping. Now let's take a look at the length of the game and what trophies come with it. It took me around 2 hours and 45 minutes to beat the game on the medium difficulty setting, and in that time I didn't find all of the game's collectibles. If you are a trophy hunter and want the game's shiny platinum, you will be spending some more time with it. In total there are 30 trophies that can be achieved. There is 16 bronze, 7 silver, 6 gold and 1 platinum. You get your normal ones, such as completing the levels and finding all of the collectibles in each chapter. There are also ones for taking out bandits in unique ways, such as killing a bandit by knocking their dynamite back at them with the pickaxe. Unfortunately, there are some grinding ones here too, such as destroying 200 tombstones. These appear after a bandit has died, so you do have to wait momentarily for them to appear. Another grinding trophy is for killing 1000 bandits. It's not too much of a problem though, because doing so is so much fun. Overall it's a great trophy list and the platinum isn't too tricky to achieve if you spend a decent amount of time with the game. And now it's time for the verdict. Every so often we get a game on the PSVR that really shines as a true gem for the system, and this is one of them games. It is actually possible to run through most of the levels whilst completely ignoring the enemies. Not shooting anything obviously isn't very fun. I think the inclusion of walled off sections until you have eliminated all the enemies in that area could have prevented this. On the plus side though, if you die and have to start an area again, you can just quickly sprint up to where you left off. This truly is an experience that is well worth your time. Although the enemy AI is very simple, the game is incredibly fun. It just feels amazing to gallop past an enemy and do a quick drive-by. The movement system is something we haven't experienced before, and the motion you must make to move just makes sense. The snap turning that is mapped to the same move controller does feel awkward though, and I really hope it's addressed in an update in the future. Overall this does feel more like a proper game, rather than a small title that we have come to expect to see release on the PSVR. Not because of its length, but because of how large each area's location is. It really is that good that it's certainly one that will come to mind when recommending the PSVR system.
Oh, great!
And that was the story of how Sheriff Beep saved us from an almost unstoppable evil. Such a pleasant tale, and is one that will be passed down for many generations to come. Beep t-shirts are now available. Check the link in the description of this video for more information. This really is one of my new favourite shooters for the PSVR, and I really am going to jump back in to grab that platinum at some point. It is so much fun. As always, please like this video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe for more PlayStation VR content.